we're living in a time where they are about to receive their judgment. You know, Yahushua is on his way. Yahushua is very close to invading this world, invading the societies, and we know how he's going to do it. According to Bible prophecy, we know Yahushua and a multitude of angels, Michael the Archangel being one of them, is going to invade this world by what the so-called white man calls UFOs, which is really the chariots of Israel. That's a major prophecy located in the scriptures. And we believe by faith that that's going to happen very soon. And one of the things that Yahushua is going to do besides deliver his elect and destroy this place called America, which is known as Babylon the Great, leaving it as a symbol of what happens when a nation becomes totally wicked, which they were created to be the wicked anyway. But what happens when a nation is totally wicked and they receive the righteous judgment from the Heavenly Father Yahweh, who is only begotten Son Yahushua. So this is why America is going to be totally destroyed and left as a desert, and that's pursuant to Isaiah 34th chapter. This place is going to be left as a desert, as a memorial and a reminder to the rest of the people, you know, the people that survived the destruction, what happens to a nation when it's wicked. It's turned its back against the Heavenly Father, and you know, the Heavenly Father brings that judgment. Okay, so that's one of the reasons why America is going to be left. Among many reasons, but that's one of the reasons why America is going to be left as a desert, 100% desert. This is pursuant to Isaiah, the 34th chapter. The prophet Isaiah saw the future of America. It being left as a desert, and after the fire dies down, the only thing you're going to have living here is wild creatures. Okay, wild birds and wild creatures. All right.
And it's been a heavy heart to pray that the Most High bring judgment upon this place. Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors, the elders and apostles, great millstone, who are teaching this truth in sincerity. And a shout out to the Akims out there in four corners of the earth to proclaim this truth. Rakah the Yahweh, Rakah the Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem, Rakah Kadash, Brakatam. So, this has definitely, because another brother had already sent it, and this has definitely come up, and just like the joggers card came up with that fake Boston bombing, yeah, that was totally staged too. So there are certain things that are staged, and this is one of them. The Illuminati card, enough is enough, a harbinger of things to come. For more than 2 decades, the infamous Illuminati card game created in 1994 by Steve Jackson have been proven to be remarkably accurate when it comes to the prediction for future events. Already several worldwide events had their own card prior to the evening happening. Now the U.S. elections behind U.S. and Donald Trump has been elected as the next U.S. president. Once again, there are 2 cards which really stand out. Both cards bear a striking resemblance to Donald Trump. The first card being Charismatic Leader, shows a man speaking to a fanatic crowd with the following text. So, you can see that, very much so there. The second card, Enough is Enough, shows a likeness to Donald Trump with a bullet whizzing by his head with the following text. So, like everything else, so, a bullet that barely missed. Did we not just see that? Now that Donald Trump has come so far to become the 45th president, the people in power want him stopped because before he causes any more upset to their status quo. It means that he will become a target. Some of their methods to stop Donald Trump: sabotage, economic crisis, civil unrest, false flag operations, cyber attacks, and if they have no success to stop him, then it's quite possible that they play their last card, assassination. Very disturbing is also the warning of Baba Vanja, a Bulgarian-born prophet who died in 1996, age 85, who had an alleged prediction success rate of 85%. She correctly predicted the 44th president of the United States would be an African American, and this black president would be the last U.S. president, aka Obama. Well, obviously he wasn't, right? Because Barack Obama, has not been the president for a while. But nonetheless, though, those cards do seem to point that out. This is deliberate distractions, as Apostle Ramlov has already gone into, which I put on the other channels. And of course, like everything else though, hey, just what it was meant to look like, right? The cards have been played correctly. Head of Secret Service confesses to ordering stand down at Trump Pennsylvania assassination attempt. Did we not say that Biden would give stand down orders? It's the same thing that happened with Benghazi. You know, when those men went in, but they were told to stand down, and the whole thing went berserky, right? USSS head refuses to step down despite admission. United States Secret Service Director, appointed by disgraced DHS Secretary, spoke to ABC News on Tuesday where she blamed a slanted roof for insane security failure during Saturday's attempted assassination of Donald Trump. So, like everything else, though, things are made to look like card well played. And there's a card on Alex Jones. There's a couple of them, by the way. Agent Provocateur is one of them, and another one called FBI Agent. So, I find that very interesting because, you know, like everything else, though, it's all controlled. It's all a card game to them. They're controlling everything.
So, Kimberly Cheadle, appointed by Mayorkas, the head of the Secret Service, arrogantly came out today in a press release in the Wall Street Journal, New York Times, you name it. We'll put a link below. And said, oh, we didn't put Secret Service on the roof 450 feet away from Trump at the police command center because the roof was slanted and it was dangerous. We're talking about a roof like this, folks. Absolute total crap from these politically correct bastards. They ordered the stand down. They've been caught red-handed. And the whole world is waking up to the fact they did this. So they didn't cover the roof, the number one thing you cover, and they politically correct say it's dangerous for our Secret Service professionals to be on a metal roof that's at this angle. I mean, these people are beyond dangerous and disgusting, and they know exactly what they did. They cut Trump's Secret Service back to nothing, and then had their advance team say, well, it's not safe to have anybody on the roofs, so we're not going to have them up on the roofs. And then it's a farming center, community center, metal roof. I mean, this house right here we're staying in has a much bigger angle to it. It's totally safe to sit up on top of. I've roofed many houses like this. So this house we're staying in has a roof peaked like that. This is like this. And it's the political correct safety. Well, that's why there wasn't even on the roof. We gave the order. And oh, by the way, I refuse to step down. The arrogance of Mayorkas, huge human trafficking, fentanyl, sex slavery, children being used as young as 10 years old in factory slavery. And he's like, hey, I'm from Cuba. I'm a liberal. I can run sex slaves if I want. And look, the head of the Secret Service is a woman. And we've got these fat women that can't put guns in their holsters, so it's okay. That is what this whole diversity movement's about, is the excuse of incompetence, when really it's the default fraud. Be able to carry out whatever they want against this country. The hundreds of thousands of fentanyl deaths, World War III, you name it. It is a disgusting group of criminals. The good news is no one is buying this right now. And people see right through this. We got members of Congress, all these.
So you can see how everything is kind of programmed for Donald Trump to be the next president. I would just have to say that's going to definitely secure his win. That's what a lot of others are saying in as well. Surviving assassination attempt changed my father. And this is coming from Donald Trump Jr. See, that's what these are going to be filled with, and it's going to make him a lot more popular surviving that. The Republican frontrunner will do his best to moderate his message after his brush with death, his son said. Former President Trump was changed permanently by the attempt on his life over the weekend and will be a more moderate figure going forward, Donald Jr. told Axios. So you see, this is all well played. It's a well played card, but you know that it's a card. You know that Esau always has tricks up his sleeve. And hey, Richie from Boston's going into it, right? Why not?
So hopefully this video doesn't stop because I'm driving. But I'm driving because I'm heading back east. It's been 10 months, 10 months plus. And I gotta eventually make my way back to the East Coast, I guess. But I gotta say, my entire problem was waiting for the event to occur. And like I said in many videos, that this year the elites showed us the program. Between Civil War 2024 and Leave the World Behind, they showed us the program. This is it. They're ready. They put this robot, creepy Joe Biden thing, whatever that is. I don't know what Joe Biden is supposed to be. But when they placed him in office, I told you that was a signal to the entire world that the United States was weak, hopeless, and couldn't even climb a set of stairs without falling down. But what they could do was absolutely flood the entire United States of America with people from Venezuela, China, Iran, every other country in the world that didn't belong here. And they gave them accommodations, they gave them communications, they gave them transportation, they fed them, and I'm sure they gave them even more than what we've already found out about. When I told you about that movie, Civil War 2024, I actually posted it on my BitChute so you could watch it. The movie made no sense at all, except the entire goal of the movie from beginning to end was to get to the president and kill him. And I said that somebody was going to shoot Trump or Biden. Well, somebody took a shot at Trump, they tell us.
All of these major developments after the shooting at a campaign rally, former President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, was slightly wounded in the right ear, but we're told by his campaign, by his family, that he's doing fine. Authorities say the shots were fired from a rooftop adjacent to the venue,
as predicted,
200 to 300 yards away. 8 rounds fired from an AR-style rifle. That information just reported.
They were going to walk up through the field, stand by the trees out there under the shade, and watch and listen to the rally. Right? We couldn't see them, but we could hear them. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof. And he had a gun, right? He had a rifle. Right. We can clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, oh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof, we can see him from right here. You see him? He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2 or 3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So your son, the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%.
He was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
Up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service?
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time we were standing by that tree.
Did they see
binoculars?
Did they see you?
Probably not. But I don't know why a guy who we're standing there pointing out to police and Secret Service is crawling up the roof. Yes, right there by that tree.
A guy was on the roof of a factory that, in a real world, if a president with security protection and a billionaire to boot, so he's got his own protection, is speaking in an open area, every single rooftop that a sniper or anybody that can take a shot would set up on, they would be set up on. You see what I'm saying? And witnesses saw the guy get in position, and for 3 to 4 minutes, told the Secret Service and the police, hey, there's a guy on that roof with a gun. And 3 or 4 minutes, and then suddenly someone takes a shot at Trump. If this was real, if these were real bullets, and Trump actually did get shot in the ear, whoever was behind him got hit with the bullet. So if this was real, whoever was sitting directly behind Trump at that sight line got shot and killed. I'd like to know if that really did happen. But here's the deal. They decided to take a shot at Trump because if you shoot at Biden, what are the American people going to do? They're going to complain, they're going to want gay rights, and they're going to want transgenders, and if you shoot at Trump, what's going to happen? Well, you're going to start, that's how you spark a civil war. It's exactly and only what they're looking for. Our country is done with.
Well, that takes a real balls to do that.
It does take a real level of balls. But you shoot at Trump, you're going to start it, okay? I've been all over the United States. I've been to the Mexican border. I've been to Eagle Pass. I've been to Texas. I've been to the Mexican border in Arizona. It's worse than you're seeing on television because the television is helping this entire thing. You see what I'm saying? This is entirely crazy that this is actually beginning to happen. The first shot, the shot heard around the world has been fired. You know how many Trump people right now that really seriously think that if Donald Trump was somehow president again, things would be better? These are the same people that completely glossed over the fact that Trump was the only president in the history of the United States of America that put the entire country under a state of national emergency and considered it a disaster area. Nobody's ever done that. And for what? For a made-up disease? There's no jobs. There's no towns left. Every single town in the United States, for the most part, I'd say 95% are completely corporate owned. Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, even the gas stations, everything is corporate owned. Nothing is owned by the American people anymore, including the government, the police department, etc. And not only that, it's astonishing how many people are getting killed and brutalized by the police. They deserve it. And it's all caught on camera, and nobody gets in trouble. You know, I think this is all occurring right now. And I know it sucks to hear it. I know it sucks to think it. The country's over with. There's nothing left here.
The country is over with. There's nothing left here. Well said, and that's what we've been prophesying. So we pray that the Most High accelerate these things, right? Well, here it is. Donald Trump going to win, but America isn't. Yeah, because you know as well as I do, yeah, a worldwide lockdown was ordered. He ordered everything to shut down. Hey, he was the first to do it over the pandemic, right? And he brought you Operation Warp Speed. He pushed the same thing as Biden. He's really not much different than Biden when it comes to that. Assassination attempt against the 45th president and his selection of G. Dave Vance as his running mate has assured him victory in November. On Saturday, well, you already know. You already know that, indeed, well, the card is well played, as said before. But these are distractions. Here's what's also going on. Ukraine demands 25 Patriot batteries and more F-16s from its allies. According to Ukraine President Zelensky, his country needs more missiles and fighter planes than promised to defend its airspace. In order to ensure full protection of Ukraine, in the opinion of our soldiers, we need 25 Patriot systems, the head of state stressed at a press conference in Kiev. No, he wants more. And he wants them to send it. Neo-Nazis from Ukraine planning PR tour. The 3rd Assault Brigade is advertising live meetings with its soldiers across EU's 6 states in a bid to recruit more troops, according to an announcement. Go Nazis! Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade, which includes fighters from the now disbanded and reformed neo-Nazi Azov Regiment, has announced plans to embark on a tour of EU countries. So yeah, this is a NATO war. It's been a proxy NATO war with Russia. So here we go.
Rebranded members of Ukraine's neo-Nazi Azov battalion are preparing to take Europe by storm. They've announced a tour of several cities across the EU in a bid to recruit more fighters. Their first stop is Poland, where many thousands of civilians were massacred by the historic predecessors of Azov who collaborated with Hitler during World War II.
We invite all of our people to meet with the soldiers of the 3rd Assault Brigade in 9 European cities. You wanted to get involved but didn't know how? Come and ask the professional military face-to-face. Only the truth about service in the brigade, stories from the front line, and the real military deal.
Well, the unit now calls itself Ukraine's 3rd Assault Brigade, but their hearts and minds are still in the same place. One of the group's members recently posted photos of himself posing with a quote by Adolf Hitler while visiting the Auschwitz Memorial in Poland, where over 1 million people were executed by the Nazis during World War II. In another image, the Ukrainian's girlfriend is seen reenacting a famous internet meme about a burning house. Well, that photo was supplemented by an audio track titled Baby on Fire.
So, like everything else, though, you know, Russia bad, Germany good, right? You know, aka Ukraine good, right? You know, because you're going to have to rewrite history. You're going to have to revise it again and say that that the Soviet Union were the bad guys in World War II, even though everybody knows that the U.S. didn't win World War II. Russia won World War II. They're the ones that stopped Hitler. The United States didn't do jack shit. You know, they did something to Japan and they nuked them, but it was Russia that had won the war. Nasrallah says Israeli state faces worse days warns military of extensive damage in case of war. The Secretary General of Hezbollah resistance movement warned the Israeli state about an extensive destructive response should it launch a ground invasion of the country. So now the Israeli state is pondering a full-blown ground invasion of Lebanon. Well, that's going to draw everybody in. Dramatic footage shows oil tanker being hit by kamikaze boat drone in Red Sea. Dramatic footage has surfaced on X showing what appears to be unmanned suicide drone smashing into the side of a crude tanker on Monday. So we'll play some of this. It's funny. There it is. Woo! There it is. Woo! There it is. Woo! There it is. Woo! There it is. I think Bashar al-Assad said it best, should they continue, to extend terrorists in the region, that you should expect everything. Well, the main terrorist is the Israeli state. Everybody knows that ISIS works for the Israeli state. In fact, it's an acronym for Israeli Secret Intelligence Services. Israeli army approves brutal and shocking free-for-all violence in Gaza. In Gaza, every man between 16 to 50 is suspected of being a terrorist. Al Jazeera broadcasted several disturbing videos of what described a summary of executions last month. In videos, Israeli state soldiers can be seen shooting Palestinians walking near Coastal Road in the Gaza Strip on 3 separate occasions. I don't know if they have a video of that. But nah. Probably too disturbing, right? Too sensitive to certain things, right? But we got to keep it real here. There's certain things, that YouTube just does not allow anymore, unlike the other platforms. Return to relations with Turkey must be built on clear basis that guarantee desired results. Because again, Erdogan and Bashar al-Assad are now talking. So this is part of their negotiations. Syria stressed the return of normal relations with Turkey is based on the return of the situation that prevailed before 2011, which is the basis for the security, safety, and stability of the two countries. Noting that the interest of both countries is based on the sound relationship between them, not a confrontation or hostility, meaning that Turkey needs to withdraw its forces, and at the same time, Syria can, keep the PKK and YPG from invading Turkey. I mean, that's what this is really about, right? Because but you have to get America out of there, because the Syrian Democratic Forces, which runs the YPG and PKK, is run by the U.S., because the U.S. controls 1/3 of Syria. Syria has been and remains to be based on the firm conviction that the interest of states is based on sound relations among themselves and not on confrontation or hostility. And that is why Syria has been keen to deal positively with various initiatives that have been put forward to improve relations between it and those countries. So in other words, there has to be some sort of deal between Syria and Turkey. The ministry concluded that Syria expresses gratitude and appreciation to the brotherly and friendly countries that are making sincere efforts to correct the Syrian-Turkish relations. And don't forget that you could say the Illuminati, those from within, caused the earthquake on both Syria and Turkey last year, and stresses that the return to normal relations between the two countries should be based on the return of the situation that prevailed before 2011, which is the basis for security, safety, and stability of the two countries. In other words, the Turkey withdraw its troops from the region, and the terror groups that was brought in to Idlib province, pretty much be taken down, be pretty much returned back to Turkey, because that only serves the interest of the U.S. And like everything else, though, we can see, though, that indeed, things are turning up, One thing for sure, though, that at least the flock is drawing everyone in. to this war, because again, they just keep on waging wars, but these other countries are becoming more and more confederate against Amalek. Isn't that interesting? They were confederate to put us into slavery. Now they're confederate and get rid of Amalek, which is the main one that put us into slavery. I think that's very interesting, the way the Most High turns things around. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 20, and it reads, "Therefore hear the counsel of the Most High that he hath taken against Edom and his purposes, that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely you shall make their habitations desolate with them." So pretty much though, who's going to come to the Israeli state aid? The U.S. The earth is moved at the noise of their fall, and the cry thereof was heard in the Red Sea. And like everything else though, Yahweh Shai and the angels are also going to invade Basra at the same time. "Behold, he shall come up and fly as the eagle, and spread his wings over Basra. And at that day shall the heart of the mighty men of Edom be as the heart of a woman in her pains," especially when they see them chariots surrounding this place. Because at that time, there will be no reconciliation. It'll be too late for Esau to reconcile. You see, like everything else though, he was meant for judgment. He's been preserved for judgment. So hopefully this has been edifying, and like everything else though, the longer versions on these other channels. Let everyone say Barak the Yahweh, Barak the Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Wa Abba Babal. Brakathum Jehovah Lek. Shalom.